Hello Bandits, and welcome back to our Parents Guide series. We're going back a little further today to look over Sniper Elite 3. It's a relatively old game now, but it's still one of our favourites on the current generation. With a slow, methodical approach, you can get some of the way towards a more realistic sniper experience. Of course, while it doesn't take into account heat or the Earth's rotation like some, it's nice to play a game where you have to worry about wind and the distance that comes with bullet drop. And if you play on the Sniper Elite difficulty, you get a real challenge out of this one. While we do enjoy the game immensely, it's rated by Peggy at 16, and we'll run those down for you here. As a brief warning, this could get a little gruesome. Violence 10. For those of us above a certain age, the feeling of accomplishment when the camera leaves our scope and we know we've got a solid hit is great. However, it invariably ends with an X-ray cinematic of your bullet hitting the target and the damage it does along the way. Certainly, it's not a game for the faint of heart. Online 7. As ever with online modes, you'll be interacting with people who, unlike the game, are not moderated at all, and this could lead to things you don't exactly want your little ones to be hearing. Discrimination 3. It's a game set in the dusty plains of Africa during World War II, and of course this is going to generate a little us versus them animosity. The usual Nazi enemies appear, but from what we've seen, nothing more than that. Drugs 2. You'll be using medkits on your travels through the game, but nothing more than that, and they mostly seem to be comprised of bandages with no hypodermics involved. Fear 1. It can be a little tense as you're hunted down if you're spotted, however, as there are plenty of places to hide in most areas, you'll be free from the hunt in no time. Gambling, sex and bad language all have 0 and have no part in Sniper Elite 3. It's definitely the violence which stands out at this one, with a graphic kill cam footage, but for those of us over the age on the box, how does it rate? Graphics 8. I wasn't blown away by the graphics, but they're certainly good, and especially when considering the game is from much earlier in this generation. Story 10. For a shooter, the story here is cracking, and obviously will contain some well-known locations and characters, though it's not 100% accurate for those history buffs among us. Replayability 4. While there are bits to pick up here and there, and a multiplayer mode does expand on this, after completing the main game your only reason to go back through really is to try and better your own score. Mind you, that probably is something we'll end up doing. Satisfaction 9. It's a great title for those who prefer the slow and methodical approach, using a mixture of close quarters combat and long range sniping, and covering your gunfire with noise from the environment is a great touch we're happy to see remains in this pre-silencer world. While brutal, there's always a sense of true accomplishment after lining up your shot and getting that bullet cam clip when the trigger is pulled, especially if you're on the hardest difficulties. Well, that's all from us today on this slightly older title. Don't forget, as ever, to check out our full extended review for this and many others over at pixelbandits.org. As ever, we've been Pixel Bandits and you've been awesome. Thanks for watching.